Hey everybody, this is Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret and the Standing Streamer. He's put me over, so now I'm putting him over with putting you over.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. Real stand-up kind of guys.
Hey everybody, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
How's it going, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to Putting You Over. Yes, we're also going to have Gabby Ortiz, independent wrestler from Stardom, from Women of Honor, the Ring of Honor female edition. We're going to have that going, and we're going to do the best we can. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself tonight. Don't be shy, say hi. Any questions that you have, feel free to ask. And so we're good to go. Has big reactions. Who's it? Oh, here's Gabby right now. We'll get back to that later. Don't worry, we're not talking about you. We're not. Don't.
Oh
It's,
no!
it's fine. We're not. We're gonna start the show.
I'm at a pajama party right now.
You're in a pajama party. I'm always in my pajamas. It's a COVID pajamas.
COVID pajamas.
Oh, I
yeah.
gotta fix the graphics so I have your correct Twitter up. Before I do that, hi, Gabby. Can I call you Gabby?
Hi. Yeah.
Hi, Gabby. I'm Kevin, I guess, or the standing streamer, whatever you want to call. Vanessa, you can hear Vanessa in the background. You guys can introduce yourselves to each other. I just want to run around and fix the graphic. Throw them both under the bus.
And how you doing this evening, Gabby?
Good. Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I have so much streaming combat content going on right now. I'm having a hard time focusing on a couple things.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You got Slammiversary at UFC. A lot going on tonight.
I know. I'm not even watching any of it. I'm watching Nailed It on Netflix with my friends. So I'm being a bad wrestler. I'm not watching any wrestling.
Well, that's why it's on later. That's why there's on demand.
What's that?
Yeah, that's true.
Slammiversary?
Oh, Slammiversary, the UFC is on.
Nobody watches the UFC.
I have it on right now, okay? So I watch UFC.
Welcome. First of all, welcome, Gabby. Thanks for coming to the show. You
for having
didn't
me.
know me from a hole in the wall, so I appreciate it. So it's phenomenal. And something I did learn that you're and I had to double check this before I introduced this information, but you're the girlfriend of LSG, the Ace of Space, correct?
Yep.
That's, by my calculations, let's see, it's 2012. It's been at least 3+ years.
Yeah, we started dating when I started training in February of 2015. We were dating in June of 2015.
So
It's been like 5 years. It's been a long time.
So, I mean, would you like to propose tonight on the show? Because that'd be great.
Not tonight. I'm gonna make that a special moment someday. Soon.
You don't want to do it on the show tonight.
I don't have the ring. So.
No, geez, no. It's funny because I had to DM LSG before the show to double check because I didn't know. I was doing research on you for the show. And years of podcasts that people do, they all vary. And I was like, oh man, something might have happened. I don't want to come on the show and
I
mention
know.
something about LSG and they're not together. I would look like an ass. Not that I didn't look like an ass with the proposal comment, but I had to reach out to LSG and he's like, nope, nope, we are.
We're still together after all these years.
We're still together. And
It's
he's
just
like,
gotten to the point where like we don't like we used to post about each other all the time, but like we've been together for so long. It's like we're together. It's like
and
who even cares anymore at this point?
yeah, I that's basically how me and my wife did things. Basically, we were together for, oh gosh, good thing she's gone to bed. Um, Longer than you guys before we got engaged. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Like you're just like whatever. Like this is what it is. Like this is it.
Yeah.
Um, but so I have to get my notes up here. So you're a woman wrestler, Stardom, Woman of Honor, but you don't have any background in sports. You're not very athletic. No offense. Your background is
None taken.
is in theater. So how do you go from a background in theater to wanting to wrestle?
It's actually excuse me.
That's all right.
They're actually very kindred kind
They-
of things.
Yeah, I agree.
I came in there with a leg up because a lot of athletes, you have those superstar athletes that have the charisma and like Allen Iverson, for example. He's just like, I'm saying Allen Iverson I because I'm from Philadelphia and he's the man. And and that have just like that charisma that propels them to the superstardom. And then you have a lot of athletes that are very like, they try to make them that, but they're just not that. They're just athletes and they play really good sports, but they're not going to be that spokesperson for Gatorade or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And in wrestling, you have to be more of that charismatic person than even an athletic person, because I feel like that stuff, if it was able to be taught to me, it could be taught to anybody. And my best friend who's here can attest to that because she knows I'm not athletic. And I was never athletic. We played softball and I quit after like 2-3 weeks. So if that athletic stuff's able to get taught to me, it could be taught to anybody. But there's something about charisma that is very difficult to teach. It's not impossible because I've seen it happen, but it is difficult.
You had me at Allen Iverson. I growing up, I played a lot of sports. So I was athletic growing up and I played a lot of basketball. And it might have even been earlier today. I had a Hoyas Iverson jersey on while I was out with the girls out back. And you're right, man. It's just something about the way they carry themselves. Like Iverson is a character. He is a character, personality through the roof, just through the roof.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with the fact that you don't have to be athletic to be a wrestler. Obviously, you are a living example of that, based on what I heard. And character, building your character, theater, the way you compose, the way you can sell, all that stuff goes together. So, you late to the game. I mean, I say late because a lot of kids, a lot of not kids, sorry, a lot of independent wrestlers that I speak to say, "Oh man, yeah, I was in love with wrestling at the age of 4, and I knew exactly at the age of 4 that's what I wanted to do." But not you.
Yeah.
You didn't come around till probably, I think, 19 years old. I think is the information I have here. At 19, how does the passion and the love for wrestling come about?
So wrestling was always on in my house growing up, with my dad and my brother. He had hamsters named China, Lita,
Oh my
Shawn
God.
Michaels. Like
Who
my
did?
brother
Your
was
father?
obsessed. My brother.
Oh, your brothers.
But my brother, my dad had a Stone Cold Steve Austin like life-size cutout in his office.
That's
So,
awesome.
and he dressed up as the Undertaker like 3 times in a row for Halloween. So wrestling was always a part of my life, but it was something that like I watched in passing for a long time. And then when I was about 18 years old, maybe a little bit younger, I started watching it a little bit more aggressively and really getting super duper into it. And that's when I kind of like realized, oh, AJ Lee, who I think was just about to leave wrestling. I had been watching her matches exclusively because she's like my size.
Yeah.
I've never
5 feet
seen
of
a
fury
professional.
right there.
Yeah, so like I had never seen a female professional wrestler that looked like me before her, and I was like, oh man, maybe I could do this. And then another thing I noticed, I was like, this is very theatrical.
Yeah.
In terms of technically with the stage, which would be the ring, lights, there's music, there's script, there's choreography basically.
Yes.
So it's
Yes,
like
there is.
I was really analyzing it, and I was like, wait a minute, I've done this before. This is so me. This is it. And theater I had lost passion for it because I had done it basically since elementary school. I've been doing theater, and my high school experience really depleted my passion for theater and acting. So that's when professional wrestling sort of sparked my interest, and I was like, I could do this. So then I did it.
So you did it.
And then I
So
did it.
you're 19 years old. This is what you want to do. You see it, AJ Lee. You're like, I can do that. What in your right mind made you go to a WikiHow page to learn how to how to become a wrestler?
Because I didn't know how to do it. And that was like the first thing that comes up when you literally type how to be a pro wrestler. It's a WikiHow page with these like really shitty. I'm sorry if I'm
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But,
Swear all you want.
These like really horrible animations of this like guy walking into a wrestling school. He's like, hi, I'm so and so. But the first step is literally like take up sports at a young age. And I was like, didn't do that.
Fail.
I already like completely failed step 1, and then yeah, but I just looked it up, and then it said, oh, okay, there's professional wrestling schools, because honestly I was just curious about how it even happens, because like it's not like, I mean, occasionally, like I know Gerald Briscoe, he goes to amateur wrestling competitions and he'll scout amateur wrestlers, but for the most part that's not how professional wrestlers are found.
Especially women.
I didn't know there was, yeah, women never. I mean, very rarely. I mean, now it's more of like the UFC girls and stuff that are scouted, but or like the MMA girls. So I just didn't even know there was professional wrestling schools. I kind of just thought that the WWE taught every single wrestler from scratch, and then I found out, oh no, there's these awesome independent promotions that are sometimes based around schools that you can pay to go to, and that was basically my college experience, going to a wrestling school.
So you wouldn't suggest, like I have 3 daughters, 11, 7, and 3. The 11 and 7-year-old love wrestling. They love to watch because they're athletic, moonsaults, flips, super kicks, all that type of stuff. My daughters are athletic; they do gymnastics, all that. Should I send them to a WikiHow page or just direct them to a school when they get to that age?
Just direct them to a school. I think you have a lot more knowledge than the people in my life. So, like I asked my dad, I was like, how do people become wrestlers? He's like, if I know, I don't know. Look it up, Google it. I was like, okay, I guess I'll Google it.
Was your family supportive when you came to them and said, like, look, this is what I want to do? Like, were they behind you?
Yeah, they were super behind me.
Awesome.
I was very shocked. My dad was shocked. He was like, he knew that I had been super invested in watching professional wrestling at the time. And then when I told him I'd contacted a wrestling school to do a tryout, he was a little shocked. He was like, are you sure you want to do that? It seems pretty difficult. You've barely ever played a sport in your life. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, let's just do it. Why not? And then he came with me to my tryout and filmed it. So I have
Wow.
footage of my tryout, and he's been beside me ever since. And as long as I had his support, I didn't really care if I didn't have anyone else's. But the rest of my family has been super supportive. So
That's
I got
that
very lucky.
that's a big family.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Now, this school that you speak of, Danny Cage's Monster Factory in New Jersey, correct? Yes?
Mhm.
Yes. Um, what were those initial days of training like? Those first bumps, people's impressions of you? I mean, like you said, you're 5 foot nothing,
Yeah.
and and how what was that like? What was that experience like?
So Danny was a little bit reluctant to have me on as a student because of my size and my lack of, sporting, ability. So I told him about my theater background, and that interested him. He was like, "Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You have that." And he knew that I had a supportive family behind me because my dad was at my tryout, and he decided, to take me on as a student. I had the money. I literally paid him tuition, my down payment of tuition up front. I was like, "Here you go," because I was just ready to do it. I was just head on with it. My first bump was a hip toss by Bill Wiles, who was in ECW. He gave me a hip toss as like literally the first bump I ever took, and that sucked really bad. And then the first day of official training, X Pac was there, and he taught me how to lock up. He taught me a collar and elbow lock up.
Colorable tie up from X Pac. Wow, you don't get
Yeah,
much better than that.
yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like
No.
when I told my dad that when he came and he picked me up because I didn't have a car at the time. He was like, wait, he's in there right now? I was like, yeah, he's in there. And I was like, you want to meet him? And my dad's he's just like he's such a professional guy. He's like, no, he's probably in the zone right now. I don't want to bother him. But yeah, I mean, like, I think because of that first day, I had someone like him teaching me just the first thing you're ever going to learn in wrestling. I was destined to sort of just take it head on.
Now, something I usually jot down with my notes, but for some reason I don't see it anywhere here, so shame on me. When was your first in-ring match, your quote unquote debut? Obviously, you had matches within the Monster Factory, um, and you had an amazing promo, right? A promo, I have that down here somewhere. A
Mm-hmm.
promo battle, very emotional, very real, from the heart, and I think that had a lot to do with your theater background.
Yeah.
And I suppose you can comment on that if you want as well. But when was your first in ring quote unquote official debut?
Sure. It was December 16th, 2017. It took me like 2 years to get my first match because I'm
That's not
not
too long,
athletic.
but that's still not
So
too long.
I felt like it was because there was people who came after me who were getting their matches, and I was like felt very behind and very like not worthy of being in the ring for a good while. Um, it almost got me to quit altogether because I was like, I'm never gonna get in the ring. Like it's never gonna happen for me. And then when it finally did, and I had the match, and the match, it went as good as a first match is gonna go. I was like, okay, I got this. I can do this. So yeah, it was
Eh,
fun. It was a fun match.
Um, you felt like you wanted to quit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, but I've resigned from things. I've never quit from anything before.
You just you just
I just
resigned.
I just respectfully resigned, like with my theater and a little bit of music that I did. I just quietly bowed out, but I've never been like I quit and then stormed out. So I didn't want to do that with wrestling, and I still haven't. Still doing it, so
you are
that must
still
mean something.
you are still doing it. I like that. You never quit. You just resigned. Um, it's the political aspect. You worked for a mayor, right?
Yeah,
So you were a receptionist. You worked in the mayor's office during the day. You're like a superhero. You worked there during
yeah.
during the day, and that night you don your ring attire and you go and battle in the squared circle at night. How? I mean, I can't even fathom that. That I mean, I guess I can because nobody should be judged, but it just seems so weird to me. Like this is the mayor in Philly, yes or
Yeah.
no? Yes. Was
Yeah.
he a wrestling fan?
Yeah, he when we hosted the 2015, no, I'm lying to you.
The Rumble
Royal Rumble, yeah.
in
It
Philly.
was a different Royal Rumble though. It wasn't the 2015 one.
No, it was
I think it was 2 years later.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So we hosted it. Bailey and Mark Henry came to our office
Oh,
and we got a bunch of cool little swag. They gave him a huge replica belt and it's still hanging up in his office to this day.
wow. So he was
So he is a fan.
so that makes sense. That makes sense how he was behind you and supported you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's so interesting.
I lucked out. I really, really lucked out because I know there's a lot of people who wrestle and their shoot jobs don't even know they do it, or their shoot jobs are very reluctant about it. Mine was like, as long as you don't get hurt,
Yeah.
we're behind you.
Yeah.
They let me take a 2-month leave to go to Japan. Like they've always stuck by me.
I like the fact that you use the word shoot job because I've been trying to crowbar that into every interview I do. I think it was ref. I want to say it was the ref Ryan Turek,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe somebody else we had on here said shoot job, and I just fell in love with it. And yeah, awesome. So okay, so Japan, yeah. So they let you go over to Japan now. Okay, so now we're gonna enter some waters that I don't know how you feel about or how I feel about, but we're gonna try it anyways. So you went over to Japan, and that is where you got, I guess, how I would say it, your big break, and you had a singles match with Hana Kimura over in Japan.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and how did it impact you? And is there anything else you'd like to say on it or not say?
No, I'm an open book about Hannah because she was
Yeah.
my opponent and she was my friend.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
I've said it before.
Yep.
You know, she passed. That's my favorite match of all time that I've ever had, was the one with her. When we found out that we were having a singles match, she came up to me and held my hand and she was like, "I'm so honored and excited to have a match with you." And she said this in perfect English. And I basically was like, "Are you kidding me? You're excited, girl. You have no idea how excited
Right.
I am about this." And I was nervous because this was my 6th match overall that I've ever had in front of human beings in a crowd.
Right.
So I was nervous for that, and I was nervous because Hana was just an incredible
She was
performer.
amazing.
Yeah, and she was much younger than me too.
Yep.
And I was intimidated by her, not only by her just beauty, but by her skill and her athleticism and her charisma. But she took care of me, and I took care of her, and we hugged and then sat together on the bus back home together. Because it was in Osaka. No, I'm lying to you. It was in Nagoya, which is about 4.5 hours away from Tokyo, which is where we were. And she was funny, and I felt very comfortable with her. I had a total of, I think, 2 or 3 matches with her out there. The other 2 were singles, were tag team matches with Kagetsu. Those were just wild fun. I mean, we just had so much fun with it. And she was the girl that spoke the most English, so she was the one that us foreigners got the closest to. And I was always so excited to see her again. So I'm still pretty bummed out about everything.
Yeah.
She's missed. She's deeply missed.
Yeah. When she is deeply missed, and she was a sight to behold, and her smile, her in-ring performance. I mean, you did it a lot of justice, what you said to her. And when I was researching you, I was like, oh, that's one of her first matches that she loved. It put her on the map, especially when you came back to the States. And I was like, but every podcast I had listened to you in researching, I was like, oh, they've all, you know, they've all been before a certain time. And I wasn't quite sure. I didn't know how I wanted to touch on it.
Yeah, I
And,
understand.
and I thought you did it justice. And I appreciate your honesty and open bookness for that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. So we'll switch gears, and you now you've had from what I've heard and what I've read is that you picked up wrestling quickly. That's what I've been hearing, that you picked it up quickly. Things like Stardom, things like Women of Honor. Now, okay, so you can help me with this. You were at Ring of Honor / Woman of Honor when they first were coming out with their heavyweight championship, I believe.
Yeah.
What is that like to be in a promotion that is now like establishing a women's brand with a heavyweight championship, and you're at the building blocks of that?
Yeah. I was in the first ever
Yeah.
qualifying match for that title. Like the first match that ever mentioned that title, I was in it against Bonesaw Jessie Brooks.
What's that
She
like?
beat the living hell out of me. So she beat the living hell out of me, and it was awesome because it was in Philly. And it was my first singles match with Ring of Honor, with Women of Honor. And it's so a shame because they were just about to bring that title back because it was with Kelly Klein and she had to vacate it.
Yep.
For certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were just about to bring it back, and then the damn COVID-19 struck and took that away from all of us. I'm sure they'll do it. I'm sure that the tournament will come back, but that tournament was going to be in Philly, and that would have just been a sight to behold. I wasn't in the tournament, but I would have gone to show support and see the girls and stuff, because a lot of my friends were slated to be in the tournament. And I'm sure probably sometime next year they'll do it, or maybe they'll do it without an audience. I don't know. I hope they do, because that's a beautiful title. It's a really cute belt. It's like a freaking cute belt. I would love to have it.
It is a very cute belt. Because where we are, I'm in upstate New York, and the only Ring of Honor we get on quote unquote TV, whether it's not the subscription, but over the air cable, it's called Stadium. And my daughter's, sometimes I'll flip through there and I'll watch Ring of Honor, and we've seen it. It was a while ago, but we've seen it. And my 7-year-old goes, "Daddy, can you buy me that?" Because you buy that. I buy them the replica, women's belt, WWE, the replica this, replica that. And she goes, "Dad, I want that belt." And I was like, "Well, you got to go train for that one, sweetie. I can't go into Target and buy it for you."
If only you could.
If
it's
only I
it's
could.
a nice belt. Ring of Honor has really nice belts.
I agree. I think they have phenomenal looking championship belts from their men's heavyweight championship now to like when Samoa Joe held it. Phenomenal. Oh, where was I gonna go? Oh, did you have a tryout for the WWE?
Yeah, I did. It was June 2018 was when I had my tryout. It was so much fun. It was very intimidating, but it ended up being a lot of fun. I'm still friends with a bunch of the people that were at that tryout. And it's been 2 years, and it was a blast. Very difficult, very trying, but altogether it was like doing a boot camp, and you kind of, you make bonds during times like that with people. And I must have made a good impression because I've been used for extra work a bunch of times after that. So they've continued to use me, which is great.
That is good. And, you keep your foot in the door and whatnot. Is that, like, how does that work? Like, is that a tryout for, like, the Performance Center, for NXT, for the Mae Young Classic at that time? Like, or just an overall
It's just an overall what they can find, what they want to use you for.
Right.
yeah, I mean, like, I think from that tryout, Chelsea Green was signed, Robert Stone was signed. Forgive me, I don't remember their names. It's a tag team.
The
Two white
Iconics.
guys. No, no, no.
Oh.
Two guys.
I
They've
don't
been featured. They've only been featured a few times on TV. And I'm forgetting their tag name,
I
but they
only
were
like
signed from
women.
that tryout. And yeah, I mean, like, we got a few good eggs in that tryout, which is awesome. And I think two of the girls that were there got used at Evolve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
Um,
probably.
so yeah, we had a good bunch in that tryout. It was Brandy Lauren was at that tryout.
Oh,
She was there.
uh,
Yeah, it was stacked.
Miss Joey Janela.
Yeah, Miss Joey. Isn't that? Oh, I don't know how he pulled that. But
Right.
good for him. Good for him. She's gorgeous.
Good for Joey Janela. Oh.
I don't get Penelope Ford and then her what?
And Kip, right? Oh, shame on us. We shouldn't be doing that.
No, stop.
Although LSG scored somebody. I mean, I've also outkicked my coverage, but that's a football term, I guess. Maybe nobody gets that, but your character, whether it's people in the chat here tonight on Twitch or anybody that we push it out to YouTube or any of the podcast platforms, why don't you give us a little insight on Gabby Ortiz, on your character style and just overall character, I guess.
Yeah, it's as simple as saying it's me turned up to like 100.
Excellent, because that was my next question.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just able to take myself and my slight cockiness and a little bit of my little narcissism that I'm totally okay with admitting I have, and applying it to my wrestling and to my character and when I get in the ring, because if I didn't use that, I don't think I'd be confident enough to even step foot in a ring, to be honest with you. So sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. And that's a lot of Gabby Ortiz and a lot of the gift of Gab. And you can see that a lot of my heel work, trying to do cool shit in the ring, and it doesn't work out for me. and my face work, it's a lot of just your standard cute baby face stuff that I can win a crowd over with, which is a lot of who I actually am, like in my heart of hearts. Like,
but what do you
like,
prefer
at
to
my
be?
job, being a good person.
What do you prefer to be?
Yeah.
You prefer
I
to be?
prefer to be heel every single day.
Everybody
If I
loves
could,
to
I
be a
would.
heel. Being a heel is the
It's
best.
so much fun.
Right?
It's the best. It's the best.
Who's the heel in the face in you and LSG's relationship?
I'm heel. No, actually, right now he's a little bit of the heel. I'm right now at this moment, but for the most part, I'm the heel. I'm a little snippy, and the boy has never raised his voice at me once in our relationship. Never once has he raised his voice at me. So, but I've raised my voice. I'm Puerto Rican, so sometimes I just can't handle it. I can't help it. So, definitely, I would take the heel for most of our relationship.
What's it like being? I mean, I don't know anything about anything wrestling related, but what's it? Is it difficult to be in a relationship with another wrestler? I mean, is that even a question?
Not if you like them,
right? Like, is that even a question?
Yeah.
Like,
I when I first got in, they told me like Bubba Ray told me to my face, like, don't ever date anybody in the business. And I was already like super into LSG, and I was like, too late, buddy.
This is the person who's dating Velvet Sky.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, which I was already super into him. We weren't dating yet, but I had a super big crush on him because we went to the same school. It has its moments, but every relationship does.
Yeah.
But it's honestly never been wrestling that's gotten between us. It's like actual real life shit. Like, when are we moving in together?
Like
when
human people.
Like regular schmegular people, like our schedule's not working out together, like things like that. And if you genuinely just like the person and want to spend time with them and want to make it work, you'll make it work. But if not, you'll use the excuse like, oh, it was wrestling that put us apart. Like him and I have never been with another wrestler. It's always just been him and I together. So we never like dated around in the business. It's always just been him and I, which I'm very proud and happy to say.
Awesome. Who'd win in a match?
And he would. He's really good.
Have you been in intergender matches before?
Yeah.
Would you like to be in a match with LSG?
Oh yeah. I've always wanted.
There's
I've always
a heel.
He's so like not an intergender match person.
No.
No, he just isn't.
I
mean,
can't
he's done
remember
mixed
if I
tag with
asked
me.
him that question or not. I usually ask everyone
He-
that question, but I don't know.
Yeah, he had an intergender match. I think the only one he's ever had that wasn't a mixed tag or an intergender tag with me as his tag partner was with Kimberly, and this was like years ago. And he hates it, and not because of Kimberly, not because it's because he just doesn't like it. It's just something he just personally isn't comfortable doing, and I respect that 100%. But the next, if he ever has another intergender match, it has to be with me. And if it's with another girl, I'll be pissed. I'll be just as pissed as if he cheated on me or something.
Oh,
What it would feel like. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Sometimes it happens. I doubt it will though. So
were you at his match this past was it this past weekend? Maybe this past weekend.
no, yeah, it
for
was this past
Symmetry?
weekend. No, I was getting my hair done. So.
Oh, it looks great.
It took. Thank you. It took a little bit of precedent over going to his match. I've been to so many of his matches, and I'll be at so many more of his matches.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll live to see
Well,
another
the salon
one. It's
open.
okay.
I mean, you had to get to that, right?
You know what? Truthfully, I'll be completely candid with you. I was locked away in a mental hospital for 2 weeks before that. I came out with the shittiest looking hair. I was like, I need to go. Like the
Really?
moment they're ready to see me. Yeah.
COVID hit you that hard, huh?
COVID hit me like a motherfucker, dude. Like, hit me like a truck. And a bunch of other stuff happened that like really messed me up in the head. And I just had to go somewhere safe and somewhere that that they could keep an eye on me, where my dad didn't have to worry about it, where LSG didn't have to worry about me. And it was the right thing for me to do. And then when I got out, I felt more in control of myself. I felt more powerful and better. So it was a good choice for me to do that. And also, I got my hair done, and it looks really good. So.
You got your hair done. You know, and I honestly, I love your openness and your candidness, and I can feel it. It exudes through this webcam. I greatly appreciate what you just said, and I think we can take something away from this. I think more, like you said, like that was the best place for you.
Yeah.
And so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you knew you needed to be there. You need to be there, so you know, for yourself, the best place. So so your dad didn't have to worry about you. So LSG didn't have to worry about you. Like, that's inspirational, and I think you need to spread that word to others. You know, it's mental health. Mental health is I mean, that's part of my shoot job as well. You know, so
What do you do?
I work with school age children with autism.
Okay.
So they're probably 7th, 8th graders. So there's a lot of I mean, they have autism, but a lot of their stuff is mental health. Like I'm helping them with social skills, the way they think about themselves, the way they look about themselves. It's tough. It's a lot. And then before, where I work now, I worked at an emotionally disturbed program for school age kids and older, and it's just tough. It's just tough.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where to go from here, but I like your candidness, and I think the fact that you're so open, you're so aware, and I think that's one of the hardest things, especially in this. It's hard to be aware that's what you need. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, it is hard. It is hard.
And was
it took a. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, was it? Well, you said it took a lot. Did COVID? Has it always been something?
Yeah.
Okay. and then
Yeah,
COVID
it's always
just
been
kind of
something that, yeah, it was always something I was able to
managed.
distract myself
Yeah.
from and
Yeah.
manage because I always had so much going on. I
Yeah.
mean, like wrestling, mayor's office,
Yep.
boyfriend, family. Like, I mean, I was never not busy with something. And then finally everything sort of stopped and I was able to just reflect on a lot of things and a lot of my flaws and a lot of things that I maybe have missed out on, and
Oh,
thought about my mom a lot. And it really just all got to me and sort of just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I realized, and my family knew that it was a good idea for me to go somewhere and be seen by professionals,
yeah.
because it was something that I just couldn't manage myself anymore, which is okay. And I was, when I put it out there that I was away for a little bit, um I was really surprised by the response that I got and by the personal message that I got from people asking me like how I got, not the courage, but I really didn't have the courage. I was scared to death. Um, how I got through it and how they can get through it. And people you wouldn't even think had any problems like that. People that just exude sunshine and positive energy. And it's just like sometimes those kind of people need it the most, you know, because they're just giving so much energy to everybody else. They're not leaving any for themselves.
Yeah. Uh, I mean that's a I'm that's a great story, and I thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
Um, it's inspirational, really, inspirational in the fact that you knew that's what you needed, and that's what you knew it, your family knew it, everyone else knew it, and that's what you did. And now look,
Yeah.
you're here and you got your hair done and you look great.
And I got my hair done. I got my SpongeBob shirt on and I'm feeling great.
I couldn't tell what it was. I knew it was like a blue yellowish. I got these cool I want to look professional sunglasses on. Yeah. So it's SpongeBob. Awesome. Um all right. So where do I want to go from here? Let's go to some of the quote unquote off wrestling topic things. Um you're a proponent of, or maybe you were, maybe you're not anymore, I don't know. Having a union in wrestling, unionize it.
Hmm.
Yeah, you still on that train?
Um, Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think there's a lot of professional wrestlers that are in the business that won't be able to manage being in a union because there are like fees and stuff
Right.
that that I think might get a little bit overwhelming for people, including myself.
Yeah.
But I think it would protect us a lot. And I think those fees have merit and reason, to protect us from a business that is very dangerous.
Yes.
I
Especially,
mean,
yeah.
that's why electricians are in unions, because because their job's very dangerous, and they need advocates. And I think in professional wrestling, each one of us is our own advocate, and sometimes we don't have those tools to be our own advocate. And that's what a union is for.
Yes, it is. I found it very interesting. I don't remember what it was, another podcast you had mentioned it, and I was like, I've heard people talk about unionizing wrestling before, but they were all like a WWF guy at the time or whatnot. I've never heard somebody, although you're in Ring of Honor, you've been there. I've never heard somebody, quote unquote, on the independent scene mention something like that. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. It's kind of like the Screen Actors Guild. Like there's an overall Screen Actors Guild for all actors and actresses,
Yep.
and like this is basically what she's saying.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
I thought that was interesting, and that plays into your theatrical background. Yes, I can't
Yeah.
speak at times.
I just think it's a way to protect us.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're a very unprotected minority.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, geez, we could get into all the aspects
yeah.
of stuff, but that's a whole nother show, and that's something I don't even want to dive into at all. Not that it shouldn't be dived into, but I don't want to dive into it. All right, let's cheer things up. My daughters love wrestling. They're into gymnastics. They watch women's wrestling. Is there any? They're 11 and 7. I'm not going to count the 3-year-old. They're 11 and 7. Are there any advice or tips you would give my daughters if they wanted to pursue wrestling? They're 11 and 7. What would you suggest?
Stay close to dad.
Stay close to dad. That's right, because I watch hardcore matches.
Yeah, I think if I didn't have my dad by my side the whole time, I wouldn't have been able to make it.
The support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank
That's
you.
my advice. I mean, not everybody gets that privilege to have Papa around all the time.
Yeah.
So
No, you're right.
take advantage of it.
You're right. Wow, that just literally just hit me like a wave of bricks. Like, wow. So thank you for that. So the world of independent wrestling, the world of wrestling in general got halted. Around March 13th. I think it was Friday the 13th. We're going to get started back up here. We already have slowly gotten started back up. When we get back into the swing of things, and let's hope we do, because good Lord, I can't be in this house anymore with all these women.
Oh man.
What are some goals for Gabby Ortiz as the wrestler and as the person?
Have fun. Just enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy every moment. Soak it all up. And if I get that paper that signs me over to one of the companies, great, good, awesome. I'll be happy with it. If not, I'll be okay. I just want to have fun with it again and really, really enjoy myself.
Where could you see yourself? I mean, I've seen you in Ring of Honor. I've seen you, in Women of Honor. I've watched some of your matches. I watched a match first. It was you versus Melina. And good Lord, it was phenomenal.
You liked it?
I did like it. I did. I like Melina a lot.
I love her.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I guess that's the wrong words. It sucks that this happened and the NWA has halted as well, because she was doing some good stuff over there as well. And I think Melina is extremely underrated as a wrestler. So I enjoyed the match thoroughly.
Thank you.
So you should be proud of yourself with that. But what are your goals? Where would you like to see yourself? I know you said wherever, but is there a place, a landing point you would prefer?
I think because I have like all my friends and a bunch of people. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's the Go Puff guy.
That's all right.
Decline. Okay. Great.
Well,
I should be back. Hello.
what
Sorry
did you
about that.
say? It's the what guy?
Okay, so in Philly and Bensalem, there's a delivery service called Go Puff,
Okay.
and it was originally to deliver like bongs and hookah pipes to people,
Nice.
but now they deliver things like cooking oil and nurse ropes and Sprite, which is what I got. He just delivered to me. He just delivered our stuff, so we're making brownies, not special brownies. We're just making regular brownies. We
Yes,
had
no
burgers
safety
earlier,
meanings.
so-
No, there no safety meanings, no edible brownies. It's Sprite. What'd you say? Sprite?
Sprite, a Nerds rope, some jalapeno poppers, and some cooking oil.
Yes. That's right. So
That
what was
was
my
on our shopping
what was my
list.
what was my question again? I got thrown off now.
Where
I-
I want to end up.
Yes,
I would like
yes.
to be at AEW. My gear designer's there, and I really miss her. She can't make gear for me anymore, so I would like for her to make gear for me again.
Well, they need women wrestlers. You should challenge Hikaru Shida. She asked for it.
I would do it in like 2 seconds, man. Like that'd be legit. That'd be so awesome.
That would be great. That would be. I mean, I don't see. I want Ring of Honor back. I want MLW back. I want the NWA back. I mean, I could get on this all day. I'm ready. But I'm also ready to be safe too. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough and whatever. Anyways, what I'd like to do at the end of every show, Gabby, you've been phenomenal. And what was the name of that place again? The Huff and Puff?
Go Puff.
Go
Go
Puff.
Puff.
Yeah, I'll definitely be
Yeah.
looking them up.
You should see if it's available in your area. It's
Yeah,
it's
right.
pretty convenient. There's a bit of an upcharge, but that is for any delivery service. But
That's
you can
okay.
literally get anything. I mean, like pregnancy tests if you want them. Seriously, you can get anything delivered. It's crazy. Hairspray,
Oh,
shit like
good
that.
Lord Almighty. What I like to do at the end of every show is give the proverbial mic to yourself. You can put anything you want over anything. You can bury anybody. You can say whatever you want. When I gave the mic to LSG, he had a phenomenal message, but the mic's yours, girl, and say whatever you want. I will not interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay. So my first thing I would say is it's okay not to be okay in an unprecedented time like this. Everything is super crazy weird, and we all just need to be here for each other, even if it's at a distance. And I'm sure I sound like a freaking Amazon commercial, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
The professional wrestling world, independent professional wrestling world, is starting back up again, and we have always been the island of misfit toys. That's why we're starting up, and why no other independent league is starting up. So I have a show July 24th in Ocean Gate, New Jersey, with Titan Championship Wrestling, Goddess of War. I'm very excited for that. It's my first match back against Holodead. If you're in the area,
Ooh,
please
Holodead.
come and join us. It's $15, and it's bring your own chair and bring your own whatever else you want to bring.
Bring
So
your own Go Puff.
bring your own Go Puff, yeah. And just be safe and enjoy the rest of your summer the way that you possibly can.
Awesome. Gabby, I had a lot of fun tonight. You were
Me
open.
too.
You were honest. The same thing with LSG, man. He was great too. And the next time you see him, tell him I said hi.
I'll give him a big kiss for you.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Mwah.
And have yourself a wonderful night. I heard you talking to I think a housemate.
Yeah, it's my friend. My friend and her girlfriend.
All right. Tell them I said thank you for allowing me to interrupt the night.
He said thanks, guys. I
And
gave you a thumbs up.
awesome. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll
You
hopefully see more of you in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, later. Thank you, Gabby.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Yeah. That was awesome, right, Vanessa? I had fun.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say. The champ is here! Real stand-up kind of guys.
Hey, everybody, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.